The room was dim, lit only by the soft glow slipping through the curtains, and the world outside felt strangely distant, almost silent, almost paused. I sat there with a heart scattered into too many pieces, with memories I had tried to bury surfacing again, uninvited yet persistent. My breath trembled as if every inhale carried years of weight, and every exhale released another layer of exhaustion. I felt the ache of the past in my bones, the mistakes that haunted me, the wounds that never fully healed, the guilt that clung like a shadow no matter how many times I tried to outrun it. It was in that stillness, in that fragile moment where I felt both tired and open, that I sensed something shifting, as though heaven itself leaned close, a whisper, not with sound, but with presence, brushed against my spirit. A warmth, gentle yet unmistakably powerful, settled over me. And suddenly I wasn't alone in the room anymore. Something holy, something healing, something greater than the pain I carried, filled the atmosphere like a quiet dawn breaking over a wounded night. And there in that sacred hush, I heard him. Softly at first, then deeper, clearer, resonating through places within me I didn't know still longed to be touched. His voice was not loud, but it carried eternity. It was not forceful, yet it pierced every wall I had built around my heart. He spoke with a patience that felt ancient, and a love that felt impossibly personal. "Give me the pieces," he breathed into the darkest corners of my soul. "The memories, the fragments, the heaviness, release them now." And something inside me trembled, because I had held those fragments for so long, held them so tightly that they had become part of my identity. Yet when he said it, when he invited me to let go, it was as though my heart recognized the one who created it. My resistance loosened, my grip weakened, and my soul leaned toward his voice as if drawn by gravity itself. He spoke again, steady, sure. "I will make you whole." The words washed over me with a purity that unraveled every lie shame had whispered over the years. He said he was washing away the residue of guilt, the self-condemnation I rehearsed in my mind, the accusations I had absorbed from the enemy until I believed they were truth. He told me that the enemy had tried to anchor me to my past, to drag me backward, to convince me I was still the person I used to be. "Do not listen," he said, firm, unwavering. "I have forgiven you completely. Your sins are erased, paid in full by my blood. There is no shame in my presence." His words did not just comfort me, they redefined me. He said he saw me as pure, clean, clothed in royal identity. And something in my soul dared, for the first time in a long time, to believe him. The atmosphere thickened with his presence, warm, protective, holy. He told me he was infusing me with fresh energy for the days ahead, that dread would no longer greet me in the morning, that exhaustion would not follow me like a shadow. "I command your body to be strong," he declared. "I command your mind to be alert. I command your spirit to be bold." His authority wrapped around me like armor. He said I would rise with the strength of a mighty buffalo, resilient, steady, unstoppable. And as he spoke, something deep within me stirred. A strength I thought I had lost began to pulse again. A quiet courage awakened under his voice. He told me to rest, not in circumstances, not in achievements, not in my own fragile ability to hold myself together, but in his presence, his constancy, his hands that never released their grip on my life. "I will never leave you," he whispered. "I am always at your side." And I felt it tangibly, like being wrapped in a love that did not judge, did not rush, did not leave. A love that transformed sorrow into joy and anchored my soul in a peace I could not explain. He said he was my foundation, my safe haven, my protector. Every word carried a weight that settled into the deepest cracks within me. Then his tone shifted, not away from love, but into a deeper authority. "My beloved child," he said, "you must understand the magnitude of what I've given you." He declared that his name, the name of Jesus, was not a gentle suggestion, but a spiritual weapon. He told me I had been given rightful inheritance, authority over darkness, dominion over every scheme of the enemy. "Stop negotiating with darkness," he commanded. "Stop entertaining defeat. You are a co-heir with Christ. You carry my power." His words ignited something fierce inside me, a fire I didn't know was waiting to burn again. He said my words carried weight, that life and death were in my tongue, and commanded me to speak life, healing, abundance, never again to let murmuring or defeat escape my mouth. He said he had given me power to overcome obstacles, addiction, sickness, demonic interference, not someday, but now. Not symbolically, but literally. He said the anointing on my life was the difference maker, the unbreakable strength that set me apart. "Do not let your emotions define you," he warned. "Let your faith lead. You are equipped. You are chosen. You are mine." As he spoke, revelation washed over me, that everything I endured had shaped me for this moment, that my talents, personality, abilities were not accidents but divine tools meant to bless the world. He told me never to hide what he placed in me under fear or inadequacy. "Use what I gave you," he said. "When you use it, I multiply it." He told me to be bold in my calling, confident in my identity, steady in my purpose. "I chose you before the dawn of time," he said. "Your purpose is profound, irreplaceable." His presence wrapped around me again, and I felt a courage rising, a fire awakening, a sense that my life was no longer small, no longer forgotten, no longer defined by brokenness, but by destiny. "Take your position," he said. "Raise your standard. Declare your victory." And the weight of his words filled the room like a holy wind. And there, in that sacred, breath-stilling moment, I realized I had stepped into something new, a new identity, a new strength, a new territory of the soul. I wasn't the same person who had sat down in fear. I was someone rising, someone being rebuilt, someone being led. And his final words for that moment landed gently but firmly. "Walk in the wholeness I have given you today. You are free, you are healed, you are loved." My heart knew this was only the beginning. The air around me felt different now, as though something invisible yet powerful had shifted the entire atmosphere. It wasn't just comfort anymore. It was commissioning. It was as though heaven itself stretched out over the room, wrapping me in a presence that both soothed and strengthened. My heart was still tender from the healing words he had spoken, yet now it began to pulse with a new kind of fire, a holy alertness, a sense that something greater was unfolding before me. I sat still, not because I was calm, but because the weight of his presence pressed upon me like warm hands resting gently on my shoulders. Every breath I took felt deeper, fuller, as though oxygen had become sacred. There was a quiet between us, a reverent stillness, and in that stillness I felt him speak again, not with urgency, but with authority that anchored itself deep within me. "My child," he whispered, "do not underestimate what I am doing in you right now." His voice carried strength, yet was wrapped in tenderness. "This healing you are receiving is not only for your comfort, it is for your calling." The words struck me like a soft lightning bolt, warm, electric, awakening parts of me I did not know were asleep. He told me there were still pieces of my heart I was clutching, memories I thought I had surrendered but were still hiding beneath layers of self-protection, old disappointments I had learned to live with instead of releasing, silent fears I carried into each new day as if they were part of my identity. "Bring them to me," he said gently. "Do not pick and choose what you think I can heal. I want all of it." And suddenly I felt emotions rising, grief I had swallowed for years, regrets I buried under busyness, disappointments I had avoided because I didn't want to reopen old wounds. They rose to the surface like waves breaking against the shore of his presence. But instead of fear, there was a strange relief, a sense that I no longer had to hold these things alone. He spoke again. Do not fear the weight of what you feel. Fear the cost of what happens when you don't release it. The truth of that pierced me. For years I had carried burdens I never should have lifted. I had worn shame like a cloak and exhaustion like armor. But as he continued speaking, the heaviness inside me loosened, unraveling like frayed threads, falling away from a garment too old to be worn any longer. Then his tone deepened, not harsh, but firm, like a father who knows exactly what his child needs. You must stop agreeing with the lies spoken over you, he said. Stop rehearsing the failures, the disappointments, the betrayals. Stop seeing yourself through the lens of wounds inflicted by broken people. The words settled into me like seeds, heavy, potent, full of the promise of transformation. He reminded me that his forgiveness was final, not partial, not conditional, not fragile. I do not forgive the way humans forgive, he said. I do not keep score. I do not revisit your past. I do not define you by your worst moment. His voice grew even softer. So why do you? The question lingered in the air, echoing in the quiet as if heaven itself waited for my answer. I felt tears press against my eyelids because I knew the truth. I had been harder on myself than God ever had. I had carried guilt long after he called me cleansed. I had punished myself long after he declared me free. And now he was dismantling every chain I had willingly accepted. He continued, the enemy has used your past as a mirror to distort your identity, but I am giving you a new mirror, my truth. And suddenly it was as though light poured into me, illuminating places I didn't realize were still dim. His presence felt like a gentle fire, burning away shame, melting fear, softening the hardened pieces that had formed from years of disappointment. You are not the person you used to be, he said, and I refuse to let you live as if you still are. His words wrapped around me like warmth spreading through cold limbs, slow, steady, undeniable. And then, almost like a holy command, he said, rise. The word didn't refer to my physical posture. It was deeper, spiritual, a call to stand up inside, to take my place, to step into what he had prepared long before I knew I needed it. Rise above the lies, rise above the memories, rise above the fear that has stalked your steps. Rise, my child, for my hand is upon you. Something in me responded, not with sudden confidence, but with a quiet surrender, the kind of surrender that says, I don't have all the strength yet, but I'm willing. And in that willingness, I felt his strength move through me like wind filling the sails of a weary ship. He continued speaking, slow, deliberate, steady. You will walk differently after this moment. You will breathe differently. You will think differently, because I am renewing your mind, reshaping your identity, restoring your inner foundation. Each phrase felt like it carved a new shape into my spirit, strong, purposeful, deeply rooted. Then his tone shifted again, becoming protective, almost fierce in its devotion. Do not let the enemy whisper into your healing. Do not let doubt pollute what I am cleansing. Guard your heart, my child. A healed heart must be defended just as fiercely as a wounded one must be mended. The truth of it sank deep. Healing wasn't a soft moment. It was warfare. It was reclaiming what had been stolen. It was stepping back into authority I had forgotten belonged to me. And now, he said, voice rich with promise, I will give you rest. Not the kind of rest that simply pauses exhaustion, but the rest that rebuilds strength, dignity, identity, purpose. Rest in my presence, Rest in my forgiveness. Rest in the truth that you are mine. As he spoke, I felt my breathing slow, my shoulders lower, my soul unclench. A warmth spread through my chest. Peace, thick and gentle, like a blanket being pulled over tired bones. Let me hold you, he whispered. Let me steady you. Let me guide each step forward. His presence wrapped me fully. No part of me was untouched. And as the last flames of fear flickered out, his words sealed the moment like a holy imprint on my spirit. You are stepping into a life you do not have to fight for alone. I am with you, in you, and ahead of you. My heart steadied. My spirit rose. And I knew the journey had truly begun. The stillness in the room grew heavier, richer, almost sacred, as though the very air had been shaped by his words. I could feel something inside me shifting, not violently, not suddenly, but like a deep river quietly changing its course. It wasn't just healing anymore. It was transformation, slow, profound, undeniable. I breathed slowly, sensing the presence of God settle even deeper around me, as if heaven itself drew closer with each heartbeat. My spirit felt tender, open, and strangely expectant. And then, in that holy quiet, his voice returned, deeper, steadier, carrying a weight that made every word land inside me like truth carved into stone. My child, now that your heart has begun to heal, now that your spirit has been steadied, there is something vital I must teach you. His tone shifted, not corrective, not harsh, but firm with a father's wisdom. Your breakthrough is not simply an emotional moment, it is a spiritual transition, and transitions require training. A breath caught in my throat. Training, preparation. He was leading me deeper still. You cannot walk into a new season with the mindset of the old one, he continued. The wounds have been washed, but now the patterns must be renewed. His words moved through me like a wave, clear, unapologetic, loving. Healing is the restoration of your heart. Transformation is the restoration of your mind, and I am doing both. I felt something tighten in my chest. Not fear, but recognition. Because I knew that my thoughts had often been the battlefield where I lost the most fights. I knew how easily worry grew into anxiety, how quickly a memory could become a prison, how silently self-doubt could suffocate joy. He spoke into that exact place, directly, precisely. You must stop rehearsing old narratives, he said. You must stop expecting disappointment. You must stop assuming the worst simply because the past wounded you. His voice softened. The enemy does not need new weapons when old wounds still work. The truth of that settled deeply. For years I had lived guarded, bracing for loss, preparing for disappointment, anticipating pain even in moments meant for joy. And the Father, with infinite compassion, was exposing the chains I no longer needed to carry. I am renewing your expectations, he whispered. Your hope will no longer be cautious. Your faith will no longer be fragile. Your joy will no longer fear being taken away. A warmth spread across my chest, gentle, steady, healing. You will live from expectancy, not from fear. Then his tone shifted again, protective, full of holy boldness. My child, listen closely. I am training your spirit for victory. A healed heart must learn to walk like one who has triumphed. You cannot think defeated thoughts in a season of divine promotion. The words filled the room like a rising tide. It felt as though something lifted from my shoulders. An invisible weight I didn't realize I had accepted for years. You must speak with authority, he continued. You must walk with confidence. You must stand as one who knows they are chosen, not by accident, but by design. The phrase sank into me. Chosen by design, not tolerated, not barely accepted, not tentatively included. Chosen. And from that truth, he began building something deeper. When I call you chosen, he said, it is not poetic language. It is identity. It is placement. It is purpose. Each word felt like a key locking into place. I chose you because there is something on your life that no one else can carry, a sound only you can release, a purpose only you can fulfill. I felt my breath tremble because something about his tone felt final, definite, unshakable. My child, you must begin to see yourself the way I see you, he said. Strength in you that you do not recognize, resilience in you that you underestimate, purpose in you that you have not yet stepped into. A hush fell over my thoughts. For the first time in so long, my mind wasn't racing. It was listening. He continued, what you call weakness, I call becoming. What you see as delay, I see as preparation. What you think is small, I have crowned with glory. His words wrapped around me like the softest blanket. Do not insult the work I am doing in you by calling yourself less than what I have spoken. My chest tightened again. Conviction meeting love. I had spent years shrinking myself, apologizing for taking space, doubting the worth of my own voice. And yet here he was, calling me into something higher, something fuller, something stronger. Rise into your identity, he said. Walk with the posture of someone who knows heaven is behind them. The room felt charged with purpose. The very air seemed to hum with unseen strength. I felt his spirit settle around me like a mantle, something placed upon me, something I was meant to carry. You are not fragile, he said. You are fortified. You are not easily broken. You are divinely built. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. They bend to my command. Then he paused, long enough for the weight of his words to sink deep. And now, he continued slowly, you must learn to guard your atmosphere. The phrase hit me like a revelation. He explained, healing is not only about removing what hurt you, it is about protecting what I am building within you. The atmosphere around you shapes the atmosphere within you. Pay attention to what you allow near your spirit. A sense of clarity washed over me. Memories flashed. Moments when my peace had been stolen, not by catastrophe, but by small compromises, by negativity, by fear, by voices that did not align with his truth. You must distance yourself from what drains you, he said. Step away from what pulls you backward. Silence the voices that speak contrary to my promise. Guard your peace the way you would guard treasure, because it is treasure. His words cut with precision, yet healed like balm. Not everyone can go where I am taking you. Not every relationship can survive your elevation. Not every environment can contain your calling. Do not feel guilty for outgrowing what once felt familiar. I felt something release in me, permission, holy permission, to step away from what hinders my purpose. He continued, move where my peace leads you. Stay where my presence settles. Let my voice be the loudest in your life. The room felt lighter now, filled with direction, clarity, purpose. And then his final words for this moment came with the gentleness of a father and the power of a king. You are stepping into strength, into identity, into authority. Do not shrink. Do not retreat. Do not doubt yourself for even one more day. His presence wrapped around me again, warm, embracing, steady. You are mine, he whispered, and I am not finished with you. Something inside me rose, expanded, awakened, and I knew the transformation had only just begun. The room felt different again, as though the very walls had absorbed his words from before and were now radiating them back into the air like a soft echo. There was a thickness of peace that didn't weigh me down, but lifted me. A peace that wrapped itself around my shoulders with the gentleness of a warm garment. My breath slowed, my mind quieted, and I felt my spirit settle into a deeper stillness, one that seemed to open a door inside me. And in that sacred calm, his presence pressed closer, steady, unmistakable, holy. I didn't hear him approach. He was simply there, filling the space around me like light fills darkness. I closed my eyes for a moment and sensed him enveloping every part of me, as though preparing my heart for what he was about to reveal. My child, his voice came low and steady, like a river moving beneath the surface. Now that your spirit has risen into identity, there is something deeper you must understand. Something essential if you are to walk in the fullness of what I am shaping within you. A gentle heaviness settled over my chest. Not fear, not pressure, but a gravity of truth. I waited, listening with every fiber of my being. You must learn to walk in the authority I have given you. The words resonated deep, cutting through the layers of hesitation that had lived in me for years. Authority, not as power over others, not as arrogance, but as a spiritual inheritance, a mantle placed upon those who walk with him. I felt his presence strengthen, not loud, not overwhelming, but firm like a foundation being reinforced beneath my feet. You have been timid with what I have placed in your hands, he continued. You have hesitated, doubted, stepped back when you should have stepped forward. His tone held no accusation, only truth delivered with the compassion of a father who knows his child's wounds. But timidity is not your nature. It is the residue of battles where you fought alone. Before you understood I was fighting for you, my heart ached at the accuracy of his words. I had lived too long feeling outmatched by life, too fragile to stand boldly, too aware of my weaknesses. But now, he was calling me into something higher. You must stop shrinking from the authority I placed within you, he said. Authority is not a feeling, it is a position. You do not earn it, you receive it, and you walk in it. His words moved through me like a slow, steady flame. You are my child, my heir, my representative, my vessel, my warrior. He paused long enough for the truth to settle deeper. And darkness recognizes you, even when you do not recognize yourself. The statement sent a tremor through me. Not of fear, but recognition. Something clicked inside my spirit, as though truth was aligning pieces of my identity I never knew were out of place. That is why the enemy fought you so fiercely, he continued. Not because of who you were, but because of who you would become. My breath caught again. Memories of seasons where I felt crushed, attacked, overwhelmed flashed through my mind. But now through his words, they made sense in a new light. You are stepping into authority now, he whispered. Authority over your mind, over your atmosphere, over the spiritual battles that once intimidated you. Authority to speak, to declare, to command, to shift environments with your words. The atmosphere in the room intensified, not frighteningly, but powerfully, like a spiritual wind gathering strength. Your words, he said slowly, carry weight. Another pause. Your declarations shift realities. Another pause. Your faith births outcomes. I felt it, not just hearing it, but feeling it settle into my bones, my breath, my posture. A whisper of boldness stirred inside me. Not loud, not dramatic, but undeniable. Do not let fear silence the voice I have placed within you, he said. Do not let insecurity mute the authority I have given you. Speak life, speak truth, speak victory, even when your emotions resist it. There was a deep gentleness in his voice, yet an unmistakable firmness. He was not asking me to rise into authority. He was commanding me to walk in what was already mine. Then his tone softened again, full, warm, deeply comforting. My child, your spirit is stronger than you realize. Another breath. You have survived storms that would have drowned others. You have walked through fires that should have consumed you. You have stood in darkness that tried to swallow your hope. And still, here you are. The words wrapped around me like a mantle of honor placed on my shoulders. You survived because my hand was upon you, he said. And now I am teaching you to do more than survive. I am teaching you to reign. A pulse moved through my spirit. Slow at first, then stronger. like awakening something long dormant. Reign, not over people, but over fear, over doubt, over despair, over the storms of my own soul. I am lifting you into a place where you no longer react to darkness. You command it to leave. A pause. You no longer fear attacks. You dismantle them. Another pause. You no longer wonder if you are enough. You recognize that I am enough through you. Every word struck deep, lighting sparks of courage in places that once held ashes. You are stepping into spiritual adulthood, he said softly, into maturity, strength, discernment, into a posture where you walk with your shoulders back and your spirit awake. I inhale slowly, deeply, sensing something like spiritual fire moving through my core, not burning me, but refining me. And now, he said, you must understand something crucial, something that will determine how high you rise in this next season. The air stilled. Your atmosphere must be guarded, but your thoughts must be governed. A quiet ache opened inside me. He was going deeper, into the realm where battles are won or lost long before they appear in the physical world. Your thoughts, he continued, are gates. What you allow in them shapes your reality. What you meditate on shapes your identity. His voice grew softer, but sharper. You cannot walk in authority and entertain thoughts of defeat. You cannot declare victory while imagining loss. You cannot embrace your calling while nurturing fear. Each statement was like a gentle but precise cut, separating truth from the lies I had accepted as normal. He continued, I am not only healing your heart, I am renewing your mind. I am teaching you to take every thought captive, to examine it, to measure it against my truth, and to reject what does not reflect my voice. A slow exhale left my body, one that felt like release, surrender, freedom. You must think like a child of the King, he said, not like a survivor of old battles, not like a prisoner of old wounds. You must think like one who knows whom they belong to. His presence thickened again, warm, heavy, holy. And my child, his voice softened with infinite tenderness. I am not done strengthening you. Something inside me softened and strengthened at the same time. I will teach you how to walk with unshakable peace, he said, how to stand firm when storms rise, how to anchor yourself so deeply in me that no circumstance can pull you out of alignment. My eyes stung with tears, because this was what my soul had always longed for. Not just healing, not just comfort, but unshakable stability. You will not bend under pressure anymore, he whispered. You will not crumble when tested. You will not lose yourself in chaos. I am making your spirit immovable. A warmth filled my chest, firm, grounding, like a gentle hand resting on my heart. You will walk with stability because you will walk with me. His presence wrapped around me again, gentle, steady, protective, and I felt myself sink deeper into his peace, his truth, his call. This was no longer just healing. It was becoming. The atmosphere around me felt deeper now, almost like the room had become a sanctuary carved out of time itself. Nothing moved, nothing rushed. It was as if heaven held its breath, waiting, watching, preparing to unveil yet another layer of truth that would reshape the way I walked, thought, lived, and believed. My heart rested in a stillness I had never known before, a stillness that did not silence me but expanded me, made room inside me for revelation I was finally ready to receive. His presence drew close again, not suddenly but gradually, like a sunrise revealing itself one gentle inch at a time. The warmth flowed first, then the weight, then the unmistakable knowing. He is here. And the moment I recognized him, something inside me, something fragile, something brave, leaned forward in expectation once more. My child, his voice carried a depth that stirred the quiet inside me. Now that you are learning who you are, there is something essential you must understand about who I am in you. His tone carried reverence and authority intertwined. Like a father speaking destiny, like a king imparting power. I am the God who goes before you, the God who walks beside you, and the God who stands behind you. You are surrounded by me, covered by me, and upheld by me. The words moved through me like a holy wind, steady, strong, undeniable. You have walked many seasons believing you needed to defend yourself, protect yourself, fight for yourself. His presence softened, wrapping around me like the gentlest embrace. But now you must learn to rest in the truth that I defend you. I protect you. I fight for you. A tightness inside my chest loosened, slowly, like a knot untying after years of tension. I had always felt responsible for holding my world together, for staying alert, staying ready, staying guarded. But now he was lifting that weight off my shoulders with every word. You are not alone in the battles you face, he continued. You never were. You only believed you were because you had been wounded by those who were supposed to protect you. The compassion in his voice pierced me, gentle yet precise, exposing truths I never knew I needed to acknowledge. But his presence intensified. I am not like those who failed you. I do not abandon. I do not forget. I do not overlook the pain of my children. I do not leave them unguarded in the heat of the fight. Warmth swelled in my chest, pushing against the last remnants of fear that clung to me. You must let me be your defender, he said. You must allow me to carry the battles that were never meant to rest on your shoulders. A deep breath fell from my lungs, slow, shaky, full of release. Then his tone shifted, and becoming firm, anchoring, resolute. You must stop fighting shadows, he said. Stop battling things I have already conquered. Stop fearing outcomes I have already secured. Stop wrestling with accusations I have already silenced. His words struck the deepest part of me, where old fears still lingered like ghosts. You are stepping into a season where my victory becomes your confidence, he said, where my authority becomes your posture, where my peace becomes your protection. The room seemed to expand with his presence, as though every wall bowed under the weight of his truth. Victory, he continued, is not something you strive for. It is something you walk in. You do not win the battle by fighting harder, but by standing in the victory I have already won for you. The statement fell into my spirit like a stone into water, sinking deep, sending ripples through everything I believed about strength. You must learn to fight differently now, he said. Not with fear, but with faith. Not with panic, but with authority. Not with exhaustion, but with rest. The idea of fighting through rest felt foreign, yet something inside me recognized it as truth I had long forgotten. You fight by believing, he whispered. A pause. You fight by trusting. Another pause. You fight by standing in what I have spoken, even when everything around you tries to contradict my promise. His voice deepened, resonant, commanding, yet filled with love. Yet you must take your stand. The phrase vibrated through my soul, steady and immovable. You stand on my truth. You stand on my word. You stand on my identity within you. You stand on the foundation of who I am. His presence thickened again, warm, enveloping. You do not bow to fear. You do not bow to doubt. You do not bow to old wounds. You do not bow to the lies of the enemy. I felt something rise inside me. Courage, strength, fire. You bow only to me, he said. And when you bow to me, every weapon formed against you loses its power. A shiver moved up my spine, not of fear, but of awakening. Then he spoke again, with the soft thunder of a God who knows the end from the beginning. My child, I am strengthening your foundations. He paused, letting the meaning settle. You must become unshakable. The word rolled through the room like a decree. I am teaching you to stand when storms surround you, to trust when answers delay, to rest when pressures rise, to speak when darkness whispers, to hold your ground when the enemy attempts to reclaim the territory you have gained. Each phrase settled deeper, shaping the core of who I was becoming. You will not be moved, he said quietly, because I will not be moved. His presence surrounded me again, like a shield, like a fortress, like arms wrapping gently but firmly around me. You will learn to sense my guidance, he said. The subtle nudge, the quiet stirring, the gentle conviction, the whisper that directs your steps. His tone softened, intimate, kind. I will guide you in every detail of your life, not just in crisis, but in stillness, not just in battles, but in ordinary days, not just in moments of breakthrough, but in the quiet hours when no one sees. The thought filled me with warmth, a reassurance that I would never walk blind or alone again. Your discernment is being sharpened, he continued. Your spiritual senses are awakening. You will notice things you ignored before, sense shifts you once overlooked. Understand the language of my spirit with clarity. I inhaled slowly, amazed by how deeply his words resonated. And now, his tone deepened, intentional, purposeful. There is one more truth you must embrace before I take you further. My heart stilled. You must learn to trust the pace of my process. A quiet ache spread through me. Recognition again. I had wrestled with timing more than anything. Questioned delays, feared detours, resented waiting seasons. But he spoke into that ache with tenderness. My child, I do not delay to punish you. I delay to prepare you. I withhold not to deny you, but to shape you. I stretch time not to frustrate you, but to strengthen what you will need for what comes next. His voice lowered, soft, loving, steady. You must trust my timing. You must trust my order. You must trust that every step you take with me is intentional. A tear slipped from my eye, not from sorrow, but from release. He whispered again, gentle, kind, holy. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are being aligned. A deep peace washed over me, like a wave smoothing the rough edges inside my soul. You are exactly where I need you, he said, quietly, certainly, and I will lead you from here. His presence wrapped around me one last time, warm, grounding, protective, like a seal placed on my spirit, and I knew I was ready for whatever he would reveal next. The quiet around me deepened again, not empty, not hollow, but full of presence, full of promise, full of a holy anticipation I could feel like a pulse beneath the surface of the moment. It was as though heaven leaned closer, as though the air itself had been charged with something weighty and sacred. My breathing steadied, my spirit softened, and a new kind of stillness settled inside me. The kind of stillness that comes right before a revelation that changes everything. His presence came in waves this time, warm, powerful, surrounding me like a tide rolling gently but purposefully onto the shore of my soul. I didn't need to hear footsteps or see any sign. I simply knew he was there. And the moment I sensed him, my heart opened instinctively, ready, listening, longing. My child, his voice descended like a warm cloak being draped across trembling shoulders. Now that you are learning to trust my timing, you are ready to embrace a truth many overlook, a truth that will define how far you rise and how deeply you stand. The atmosphere thickened as though the entire room leaned in to hear his next words. You must learn to walk in gratitude, not as a practice, but as a lifestyle, not as a moment, but as a posture, not as a reaction, but as a spiritual weapon. A gentle tremble moved through me. Gratitude, a word so familiar, yet now it carried a weight I had never felt before. You do not yet understand its power, he continued. Gratitude is not a pleasant addition to your faith. It is the foundation that keeps your heart aligned with heaven. Without gratitude, blessings become burdens, victories become normal, and the heart grows dull to my presence. His words sank deep, exposing places in me where gratitude had been momentary, inconsistent, vulnerable to circumstance. I am teaching you to live in a constant awareness of my goodness, he said softly, to recognize my hand in the small, the quiet, the hidden, to acknowledge my presence in the ordinary moments you once overlooked. A warmth spread across my chest, a realization forming slowly like a dawn unfolding. For too long, he continued, You have thanked me after the breakthrough, after the miracle, after the relief. A pause, but now you must learn to thank me before you see anything change. The truth hit me with a holy force, gentle but firm. Gratitude before manifestation, he said, is faith. Gratitude after manifestation is recognition. Both are good, but only one opens the windows of heaven. My heart beat faster, as though something inside me recognized the magnitude of this shift. You must understand, he continued, that gratitude protects your spirit from pride, from entitlement, from forgetfulness, from drifting away from the source of your strength. His presence grew heavier, not overwhelming but anchoring. When you thank me, he whispered, you place me back at the center. You remind your soul who holds your heartbeat, who guides your steps, who fights your battles, who opens your doors, who restores your strength. The words washed over me like healing water. When gratitude fades, Honey said, the heart becomes vulnerable to comparison, discouragement, fear, and spiritual blindness. But when gratitude grows, joy grows, peace grows, faith grows, vision grows. A soft breath left my lungs and slow and steady. Every season of your life must be marked by gratitude, he continued. In the valley, gratitude anchors you. On the mountain, gratitude humbles you. In waiting, gratitude strengthens you. In abundance, gratitude protects you. His voice deepened, holy, loving, unwavering. You must learn to thank me not only for what I give, but for what I withhold. Not only for what I open, but for what I close. Not only for what I restore, but for what I remove. Not only for the miracles you see, but for the dangers I divert without your awareness. A wave of realization swept through me. All the unseen times he had protected me, shielded me, redirected me. You cannot imagine, he said, how many storms I stopped before they reached you. How many traps I dismantled before you stepped into them. How many battles I fought while you slept. My eyes filled, not with sorrow, but with awe. And this, he whispered gently, is why gratitude must become the rhythm of your life. The room felt brighter now, not with physical light, but with revelation. And there is something more, he said, his tone shifting into deep authority. Gratitude is not simply emotion, it is activation. It releases peace, it breaks chains, it silences the enemy. It invites my presence. It unlocks heaven's resources. The words carried a spiritual voltage that made my heart pound. When you thank me, he continued, the enemy's voice loses volume. The weight of fear loses power. The grip of anxiety loosens. Gratitude destroys the atmosphere the enemy tries to build around you. A realization dropped into place. Gratitude wasn't passive, it was warfare. And he wasn't done. You must understand, he said, that your next season will require a deeper gratitude than you have ever walked in, because I am giving you more, and more requires stewardship, humility, vigilance. His presence wrapped around me like a shield. I am elevating you, he whispered, but elevation without gratitude becomes corruption. I am expanding you, but expansion without gratitude becomes pride. I am blessing you, but blessing without gratitude becomes idolatry. My breath caught, his truth piercing with love. That is why, he said, I am rooting gratitude into you now, before the fullness of what I am bringing arrives, because your gratitude will maintain what your faith obtains. The statement vibrated through my spirit. Gratitude multiplies blessing, he whispered. A grateful heart cannot be shaken, cannot be manipulated, cannot be darkened. Gratitude keeps your spirit awake. I felt something open inside me, something tender, something ready. You must begin every day with gratitude, he said. Not with requests, not with fear, not with questions, but with thanksgiving. When your heart starts with gratitude, every battle becomes smaller. Every burden becomes lighter. Every blessing becomes clearer. Warmth pooled in my chest. And when you end your day with gratitude, he continued, your sleep becomes peace, not survival. Your rest becomes restoration, not escape. Your dreams become communion, not turmoil. His voice softened to a whisper filled with love. You must breathe gratitude, think gratitude, speak gratitude, live gratitude. A quiet silence fell, not empty but full of presence. My child, he said gently, gratitude will guard your soul in the seasons ahead. It will root you, strengthen you, illuminate you, protect you. The words settled into me like seeds ready to bloom. And now, he whispered, I will take you deeper still, into peace, into purpose, into alignment with the destiny I designed for you before you were born. His presence wrapped around me like a warm mantle. You are ready. My spirit steadied, my heart opened, and I knew the journey was only beginning. The stillness settled around me again, thicker, deeper, almost weightier than before, as if every word he had spoken up to this moment had been preparing a place inside my spirit for what he was about to reveal next. There was no rush in the atmosphere, no pressure, no noise, only a profound quiet that felt like standing in the center of a holy pause. My heart slowed, my breath softened, my thoughts quieted as though heaven had placed a gentle hand upon my mind. And then, his presence descended again, warm, steady, unmistakably near, carrying that mixture of authority and tenderness that always made something inside me bow and rise at the same time. I didn't need to search for him. He was already there, filling the atmosphere like eternal light. My child, his voice came gently, but with a depth that drew every part of me into attention. Now that gratitude is settling into your foundation, there is another truth you must learn, one that will guard everything I am building within you. The air seemed to hold its breath. You must learn the discipline of spiritual vigilance. A subtle ache rose in my chest, not of fear, but of recognition. For too long, I had lived my life reacting to battles instead of anticipating them, responding to storms only after they had already struck. But from the weight of his presence, I knew he was shifting me into a new way of living. You have entered a new season, he continued, a season of blessing, expansion, healing, authority. But every new season requires new protection. You cannot guard new glory with old habits. His words carried truth like a blade and comfort like a balm. You must remain spiritually awake, he said softly. Not anxious, not fearful, but aware. Watchful, discernment sharp, senses aligned, spirit alert. A slow breath left my lung, steady, grounding. For too long, he whispered, the enemy has tried to lure you into spiritual numbness, into distraction, into emotional sedation. He uses comfort as much as pain. He uses abundance as much as lack. He uses noise as much as silence. The realization flowed through me like warm oil, illuminating the years where I had felt spiritually tired, spiritually unfocused, spiritually disconnected without understanding why. But now, his tone deepened, you must not allow yourself to drift again. A quiet firmness entered his words, not harsh but protective. A drifting spirit is vulnerable. A distracted heart is unguarded. A dull mind is easily deceived. He waited, letting the words settle before continuing. I am calling you to a higher level of spiritual attention, he said. You must listen for my promptings, sense my warnings, feel my convictions, recognize my movements. I felt his presence tighten around me, like a covering, like a shield. You are not who you once were, he reminded me. You do not walk blindly anymore. You do not wander through life without guidance. My spirit speaks to you, gently, consistently, faithfully. A warmth spread across my chest as if his words were awakening something dormant. You must learn to obey the small nudges, he continued. The uneasiness that signals danger, the peace that signals alignment, the restraint that prevents mistakes, the impulse that directs you toward purpose. His voice lowered, intimate, holy. These are not random sensations. They are my guidance. I inhale slowly, deeply, letting the truth wash over places inside me that had doubted my ability to discern his voice. You hear me more than you realize, he said. You sense me more than you acknowledge. I have been speaking to you all along, through convictions, through clarity, through instincts that were not just instincts, but whispers of my spirit. His words touched something tender inside me, validating, affirming, restoring the confidence I had lost in the noise of life. And now, he continued, you must sharpen your discernment. You must learn to recognize what is of me and what is not. The atmosphere thickened with holy seriousness. Not every open door is from me. Not every opportunity is aligned with my will. Not every voice carries truth. Not every feeling deserves your attention. Not every thought belongs in your mind. A quiet gravity pressed into the room. Not heavy, but clarifying. I am awakening your spirit, he said. You will begin to feel what you once ignored. Notice what you once overlooked. Sense what you once doubted. His presence wrapped firmly around me, anchoring me. You must learn the art of pausing, he whispered. Pausing before speaking. Pausing before acting. Pausing before agreeing. Pausing before reacting. Pausing to seek my voice. I felt the truth settle deep, like a foundation stone being placed where one had been missing. A wise heart moves slowly, he continued, not hesitating, but discerning, not fearful, but careful, not passive, but intentional. Then his tone shifted, protective, fierce with love. The enemy fears a vigilant believer, he said. He cannot deceive one whose eyes are open, whose heart is awake, whose spirit is aligned. A quiet fire stirred in my spirit, small but growing stronger. You must learn to guard your mind daily, he said. You must filter what you allow in your thoughts. You must reject the whispers of fear before they become roots. You must silence the voice of discouragement before it grows into despair. You must confront lies before they shape your identity. His presence grew heavier, like a shield being placed over my soul. I am equipping you, he whispered. Your spirit is being fortified. Your mind is being renewed. Your heart is being disciplined. He paused, as though the next words carried weight beyond the previous ones. Spiritual vigilance, he continued, is not exhausting. It is empowering. It is not anxiety. It is awareness. It is not fear. It is readiness. A soft breath of relief escaped me. You are not watching for danger, he said. You are watching for my movements. The truth struck deep, shifting my perspective instantly. You must follow my peace, he whispered. Where peace leads you, go. Where peace leaves you, pause. Where peace withdraws, turn away. His voice grew tender again, almost like a father brushing a hand against the cheek of a beloved child. Peace will be your guide. Peace will be your signal. Peace will be your compass. Peace will be your confirmation. A sense of comfort washed over me, warm, gentle, reassuring. And remember, his voice deepened, thick with love. You do not watch alone. You do not discern alone. You do not guard yourself alone. My spirit is within you, alert, active, present, guiding your every step. The words soaked into my spirit. You will not be caught off guard, he said. You will not be misled. You will not be deceived. You will not be overtaken. I am your protector, your defender, your watchman. Then, more softly, and I will teach you to see through my eyes. A warmth swelled in me, one that felt like being lifted from the inside. You are becoming spiritually mature, he whispered, spiritually strong, spiritually aware, spiritually grounded. He paused once more, letting the truth imprint itself into my identity. And because of this, his presence wrapped around me like armor. Turi, you will walk in victory before the battle even begins. My breath steadied, my spirit rose, and I knew I was becoming someone who no longer reacted to the world around me, but someone who responded to the God within me. The atmosphere shifted again, not abruptly, not forcefully, but like a slow, holy tide rising quietly around my feet. I felt something in the room thicken, deepen, soften all at once, the way morning fog settles over a sleeping valley before anyone wakes. The silence felt alive. The air held warmth, And in that sacred stillness, his presence unfolded like light drifting in through an open window. My child, his voice touched my spirit before it touched my ears. Gentle, steady, full of a love that could lift mountains and calm oceans. Now that your discernment is awakening, there is something greater I must place within you. A subtle tremor of anticipation moved through me. Not fear, not tension, but the sense that I was about to step into a truth that would reshape the way I walked through life. He continued, his tone enveloping me with a protective firmness. You must learn the sacred art of spiritual rest. The words surprised me, yet they brought a kind of relief that loosened a weight I didn't know I was still carrying. Rest does not come from inactivity, he said gently. It comes from trust, a deep, unwavering, unshakable trust that I am who I say I am, and that I will do what I have promised to do. The truth rang through me like a soft bell. You have fought long battles, he whispered. You have endured storms, climbed steep mountains, pressed through darkness, and carried burdens that would have crushed others. And now, you must learn a new way, a way of strength that does not exhaust you, a way of victory that does not drain you. A warm peace settled over my chest. I am teaching you, he continued, to live from rest, not to rest after you have survived. Rest must be your posture, not your reward. His words moved through me like living water, washing the tension out of my shoulders, out of my breath, out of my thoughts. You have lived too many years in survival mode, he said with compassion. Always pushing, always striving, always fighting, always trying to hold everything together in your own strength. He paused, and it felt like a hand resting gently over my heart. No more, he whispered. That season is ending. A deep exhale left my lungs, one I didn't realize I had been holding. I am calling you, he said softly, into a life where you move from my strength, not your own, from my peace, not your anxiety, from my wisdom, not your fear. His presence pressed closer, like arms wrapping around a weary soul. Rest does not mean quitting, he said. It means moving in alignment instead of resistance. It means flowing rather than forcing. It means trusting rather than trembling. A new kind of courage rose inside me, quiet, steady, anchored. My child, he continued, when you rest in me, you silence the lies that say you are alone, unsupported, unprotected, unprepared. Rest is your declaration of faith. Rest is your act of war against fear. The words hit deep, tender and powerful. Rest, he said, is how you guard the territory I have given you. Rest is how you protect your healing. Rest is how you steward your blessings. The atmosphere warmed, as if heaven itself breathed gently over my spirit. There will be moments, he continued softly, when the enemy tries to pull you back into chaos, into fear, into emotional storms. He will attempt to provoke you, exhaust you, distract you. His tone sharpened, not with anger, but with fierce love. You must not take his bait. A stillness settled in me, deep, unmoving. You must remain grounded, he whispered, rooted, anchored, resting in me even when the wind shakes the branches, even when voices rise against you, even when circumstances shift unexpectedly. He let the truth settle like seeds sinking into fertile soil. Rest is not the absence of movement, he said. It is the absence of fear. A soft warmth filled the room. You must let me be your peace. Let me be your calm. Let me be your confidence. His presence wrapped around me like a soft mantle. You have carried too much alone, he said, but you were never meant to. Lay down the weight, lay down the worry, lay down the pressure to solve everything by your own hands. A gentle quiet rose within me, like a calm ocean after a storm. You must learn to breathe again, he whispered, to feel safe again, to trust again. A pause. To be held again. The words reached a place inside me I didn't know was still aching. I am not merely your God, he said with tenderness. I am your rest, your refuge, your sanctuary. His presence deepened, warm, enveloping, a shelter for my soul. I am teaching you to live unshaken, he continued, not because life becomes easier, but because you become anchored in me. The world seemed to fade behind his voice. Rest is your new strength. Rest is your new armor. Rest is your new strategy. Rest is your new elevation. Something inside me loosened, a pressure breaking, a weight falling. You will begin to notice, he said, that when you rest in me, clarity comes effortlessly, doors open naturally, wisdom flows freely, peace becomes instinctive. He paused, letting the truth soak deep. Rest produces revelation. Rest produces strength. Rest produces victory. Rest produces discernment. His voice softened. Rest produces joy. A gentle quiet settled in the room. You are stepping into a life where rest is not something you seek, but something you carry. He paused and his tone shifted into something holy, reverent, powerful. And when you carry rest, he said, you carry my presence. My spirit stilled, fully, deeply, willingly. You will not return to the frantic pace of old seasons, he whispered. You will not be ruled by fear. You will not be governed by pressure. You will not be controlled by urgency. His love wrapped around me like soft fire. You will move with purpose, but without panic, with intention, but without anxiety, with clarity, but without chaos. A breath of freedom entered my chest, slow, full, sacred. I am calling you. His presence leaned so close it felt like my soul was being held by both hands. To live rested, so you can live powerful. The words settled into me like truth carved into stone. You will fight from victory, he whispered, not for it. And in that moment, I felt something inside me shift permanently. A final piece of striving dissolving, a new identity taking shape, a new strength rising from stillness. Rest was not the end of the battle. Rest was the beginning of a new kind of power. The stillness of his presence lingered long after the last words settled into my spirit, like a warm fragrance that clung to the air, gentle yet unmistakably divine. There was no rush for him to speak again, and yet I knew, deep in the quiet center of my being, that he was not finished. Something in the atmosphere felt poised, suspended, waiting for my heart to fully absorb the revelation of rest before he placed the next stone in the foundation he was building within me. Slowly, like dawn stretching its first light across a sleeping horizon, his presence expanded again. Soft yet powerful, calm yet carrying an authority that commanded every part of me to awaken. My child, his voice flowed like water over smooth stone, soothing and steady. Now that you are learning to rest in me, there is another truth you must receive, one that will preserve your peace, guard your spirit, and guide your steps through every season ahead. The air felt warm against my skin, sacred, almost weightless. You must learn the discipline of inner alignment. A quiet recognition stirred inside me. I felt instinctively that this was not a small lesson, not a gentle encouragement, but a spiritual principle that would shape the way I lived, thought, reacted, and discerned. You were created, Hakin continued, to live with your spirit leading, your soul submitted, and your body at rest. But for too long, the order has been reversed. His words cut through the fog of past patterns with surgical clarity, revealing truths I had lived but never named. You have allowed emotions to lead when your spirit should have led. You have allowed your thoughts to dominate when my voice should have guided. You have allowed your anxieties to govern decisions that should have flowed from peace. His tone was not condemning, it was revealing, liberating, illuminating. I am restoring divine order inside you, he whispered. For chaos outside you cannot overcome you when there is alignment within you. The truth poured over my mind like warm oil. Your spirit, he continued, is the place where my voice resides, where my wisdom flows, where my presence shapes your discernment. But your spirit must remain the leader, not your emotions, not your fears, not your memories, not your impulses. A soft quiet expanded in my chest. Inner alignment, he said, is when your spirit stays connected to me. Your mind stays renewed in truth, Your emotions stay submitted to peace, and your actions flow from obedience rather than reaction. He paused, letting the structure settle in my understanding. This alignment, he said softly, is where your power is. My breath caught slightly. The weight of the words felt like a holy key turning in a spiritual lock. For too long, he continued, your emotions have interpreted circumstances louder than my promise. Your thoughts have tried to analyze what only my spirit could reveal. Your heart has tried to carry weights that only my presence could lift. His voice softened, tender, compassionate. But I am healing this. I am aligning you. I am strengthening you. The room felt peaceful, still, purposeful. You will begin to notice, he said, that when something is not aligned with my will, your spirit will feel a subtle pull, a gentle lack of peace, a quiet tension that signals caution. A realization rose inside me. I had felt these gentle signals before, but ignored them, talked myself out of them, reasoned my way past them. You must stop overriding the signals of your spirit, he said with loving authority. When peace withdraws, you must pause. When my presence quiets, you must listen. When rest leaves, you must wait. A clarity unfolded within me, not harsh, not demanding, but undeniably true. This is discernment, he continued, not the discernment of suspicion or fear, but the discernment born of intimacy, alignment, sensitivity to my spirit. His words wrapped around me like a soft cloak. Emotional impulses will always try to lead you. Fear will always try to warn you of dangers that do not exist. Memories will always try to replay old hurts. Anxiety will always try to project false outcomes. But your spirit, anchored in me, will lead you into truth. A warmth bloomed deep in my chest, grounding, gentle, stabilizing. You must learn to pause long enough, he said, for your spirit to rise above your emotions. You must sit in my presence long enough for my clarity to override confusion. You must breathe deeply enough for peace to fill the spaces anxiety tries to occupy. He paused, then added gently, this is how you live unshaken. The atmosphere grew thick with holy stillness. When you live from your spirit, he whispered, you become unmoved by the storms around you. You become unshaken by opinions, by criticism, by unexpected changes. You no longer respond from fear, but from wisdom. You no longer react from insecurity, but from identity. You no longer struggle for control, but walk in surrender. A deep strength settled inside me, a strength that didn't feel loud, but steady, grounded, immovable. I am aligning you, he said, not for comfort, but for calling, not for ease, but for endurance, not for survival, but for purpose. The words hummed through me like truth, awakening something ancient and eternal. This alignment, he continued, is necessary for where I am taking you, for the doors I am opening, for the authority I am granting, for the influence I am entrusting, for the battles you will win without lifting your voice, because your spirit remains in me. A soft peace radiated outward like light breaking through clouds. You will notice over time, he said gently, that your reactions begin to change. Old triggers lose their power. Former fears lose their grip. What once overwhelmed you begins to look small. What once intimidated you begins to look powerless. He paused, letting the truth unfurl like a gentle flame. This is because inner alignment restores spiritual vision. A revelation sparked within me, subtle yet transformative. When you see through your emotions, everything seems distorted, he said. When you see through your thoughts, everything seems complicated. When you see through your fears, everything seems threatening. But when you see through your spirit, his presence pressed close, warm, strong, certain. Everything becomes clear. A quiet exhale slipped from my lips. You will begin to see people through compassion instead of judgment. You will begin to see situations through purpose instead of frustration. You will begin to see delays through patience instead of panic. You will begin to see challenges through confidence instead of fear. His tone softened, like sunlight touching closed petals and inviting them to open. You will look at your life through my eyes. A subtle trembling moved through my spirit, not fear, not sadness, but awe. For when your inner world is aligned, he whispered, your outer world cannot shake you. His words glowed with quiet power. You will carry peace into chaos. You will carry clarity into uncertainty. You will carry strength into vulnerability. You will carry wisdom into confusion. You will carry my presence into every environment you enter. A warmth filled the room, wholly steady, alive. This alignment, he said softly, is how you rise, not by force, not by striving, not by willpower. He paused, and the silence felt like a sacred invitation. But by alignment with me. My spirit bowed in reverence and rose in strength all at once. In this place, he whispered, you will know who you are. You will know who I am, and you will walk in a peace that nothing in this world can counterfeit or steal. His presence wrapped around me like a final seal. You are being aligned for glory, for purpose, for destiny. A stillness settled, deep, enduring, complete. And you will live, he whispered, it not moved by the world, but moved only by me. The quiet after his last words felt different this time. Not empty, not paused, but full. Full like a deep, steady river flowing just beneath the surface of my spirit. It wasn't silence that followed him. It was presence. Lingering, resting, settling into the spaces inside me that had once been fractured, anxious, or reactive. Now they were being filled, aligned, restored. I breathed slowly, deeply, as though my lungs were learning a new rhythm. Each inhale felt cleaner. Each exhale felt lighter. And even before he spoke again, I sensed the shift. Something new, something higher, something deeper drawing near. His presence didn't merely fill the room. It wrapped itself around my inner world with a warmth that felt like home. My child. His voice emerged through that holy stillness, gentle yet alive with authority. Now that your spirit is learning to lead and your inner world is aligning with mine, there is something essential you must understand. Something that will shape not only how you walk, but how you rise. The atmosphere thickened with purpose. You must learn the power of sustained transformation. A quiet pulse flickered inside my chest. These words carried weight, not the heavy pressure of burden, but the heavy significance of destiny. Transformation, he continued softly, is not a moment. It is a movement. It does not occur in a single encounter, but through continuous surrender. His presence pressed gently, like a hand resting on my spirit. So many start well, he whispered, but stop too soon. They leave the process incomplete. They taste healing, but resist the deeper layers. They feel peace, but avoid the pruning. They experience breakthrough, but abandon the discipline that sustains it. His words did not condemn, they revealed. You, my child, are not called to temporary change, he said. You are called to enduring transformation. The truth vibrated in the very center of me. For transformation to remain, he continued, you must allow me to reshape not only your circumstances, but your patterns, your perspectives, your responses, your habits, your reflexes, your desires. A soft quiet stretched out, wholly reflective. You must let me change not only what you do, but how you think, how you feel, how you interpret what surrounds you. He paused, letting the truth settle deeply. Sustained transformation requires consistency, not perfection, consistency. Showing up, yielding, listening, obeying, choosing me again and again. Warmth settled inside my chest like embers glowing with new life. You must not believe the lie, he whispered, that growth is linear or that setbacks cancel progress. Transformation is the weaving of many small obediences, many quiet decisions, many unseen moments of surrender. The atmosphere softened, becoming warm and deeply intimate. I am patient with your process, he said. I do not rush you. I do not shame you for the time it takes. I celebrate every step forward, even the smallest. A gentle tremor went through my spirit like healing taking root. But you must remain in the process, he continued. For when you remain in me, You are shaped by me. His presence intensified, not loud but thick, like holy oil being poured into the deepest layers of my being. You must understand, he said, that there are layers within you that have not yet been touched, wounds that have never been spoken, fears that have never been named, beliefs that have never been challenged, dreams that have never been awakened. A warmth pulsed through me, almost like my spirit was melting into his presence. I am going deeper, he whispered, deeper than trauma, deeper than anxiety, deeper than memory, deeper than habit, deeper than identity. The words fell like gentle thunder, soft yet earth-shifting. I am transforming you from the inside out, until what once triggered you no longer holds power, until what once wounded you no longer controls you, until what once frightened you no longer shapes you. His presence wrapped around me like a shield of light. This transformation, he said, is not behavior modification. It is identity recreation. A warm wave of revelation washed through me. You are not merely healing, he whispered. You are becoming. He let the words breathe in the space between us. You are becoming the person I designed before the world touched you. You are becoming the one who walks in authority, not fear, confidence, not insecurity, clarity, not confusion, peace, not panic, purpose, not survival. A new strength rose in me, quiet but undeniable. And to maintain this transformation, he said, you must allow me to renew your mind daily. I am not asking you to think harder. I am asking you to think higher. His presence felt like elevation. You must replace self-criticism with truth, anxiety with surrender, doubt with identity, fear with faith. The warmth around me deepened. You must speak what I speak about you, not what your wounds speak, not what others speak, not what your fears speak. A gentle conviction filled the room. Transformation requires participation, he said. I provide the power, you provide the permission. He paused as though waiting for my spirit to fully open to the next words. And my child, his voice softened to a whisper, deeper than breath. You must not return to the versions of yourself I have already healed. The sentence slid into my soul like a key turning in a long-locked door. You must not revisit old mindsets out of habit, old fears out of familiarity, old coping mechanisms out of comfort, old identities out of nostalgia. He continued with tender firmness. You must not go back to the places where your spirit could not breathe. Something inside me loosened. Something old, something tired, something unnecessary. I am calling you forward, he whispered. Forward into clarity, forward into courage, forward into maturity, forward into identity, forward into destiny. His presence thickened with purpose. You must refuse, and he said, to shrink when I am expanding you, to doubt when I am confirming you, to fear when I am strengthening you, to isolate when I am surrounding you. A warmth bloomed from the center of my chest, rising upward. You must refuse to repeat cycles that I have broken. His tone shifted into a holy protective authority. I have cut the chains. I have opened the door. I have broken the pattern. I have rewritten your future. His presence pressed gently around me like a divine embrace. You must walk in the new, even before it feels familiar. He paused, then added with soft intensity, this is sustained transformation, becoming day by day who you were created to be. The room felt full of light. And my child, his voice grew even more tender. You will not walk this transformation alone. My spirit is your helper. My presence is your guide. My peace is your confirmation. My strength is your foundation. He paused, a holy pause, rich with meaning. You are not only changing, you are rising. The words resonated in my spirit like a bell ringing across a wide valley. And when you rise, he whispered, the world around you will rise too. The atmosphere glowed with his nearness. You are becoming a carrier of transformation, not just a recipient. His presence wrapped around me like a mantle being placed over my shoulders. Walk in this, guard this, honor this. A final wave of peace settled inside me, deep, lasting, eternal. For you are not who you were, he whispered. and you will never be that version again. The stillness settled again, not the stillness of emptiness, but the stillness of a heart being reshaped. The stillness that comes when heaven pauses over a soul and breathes something eternal into it. I felt his presence deepen like a soft descending cloud, warm and weighty, familiar yet always new. Every time he drew near like this, something in my spirit bowed deeper and rose higher at the same time. There was no rush, no pressure, only the sense that I was being prepared, expanded, strengthened, invited into another layer of revelation. My breath slowed, my thoughts softened, and then almost like a whisper carried on holy wind, his voice filled the air again. My child. The sound of it reached into the quietest parts of me, the parts that had learned to listen, not just with ears, but with the entire spirit. Now that you are being transformed, I must teach you something even greater, something that will define how you carry my glory into the world. The atmosphere shifted with a weight that felt holy, purposeful, inevitable. You must learn the calling of spiritual responsibility. The words settled over me, not as a burden, but as a mantle, a gentle but undeniable invitation. Transformation, he continued, is not only for you. Healing is not only for your comfort. Breakthrough is not only for your relief. Every battle you overcame, every storm you survived, every darkness you walked through, every tear you cried, every lesson you learned, these were not random moments. His presence wrapped around me with a mixture of tenderness and authority. They were preparation. A soft hum of recognition rose inside me. I did not strengthen you, he whispered, so you could hide your strength. I did not free you so you could live quietly behind closed doors. I did not reveal truth to you so you could keep it in secrecy. I did not heal your heart so you could remain silent about the power that restored you. The truth pierced gently, like light cutting through fog. You have been entrusted, he said softly. Entrusted with revelation, entrusted with wisdom, entrusted with compassion, entrusted with victory. He paused, letting the weight of those words seep into my bones. And now, you must learn to carry what I have placed within you. Warmth settled over my chest, steady, grounding, holy. You must understand, he continued, that every breakthrough is a responsibility. Every healing is an assignment. Every blessing is a stewardship. Every victory is a calling. His presence pressed closer, like the placing of a hand on my shoulder. I am raising you as a carrier of my presence, he said, a carrier of peace, a carrier of strength, a carrier of clarity, a carrier of hope. My breath caught at the clarity of his declaration. The world, he whispered, is filled with people who are drowning in storms you have already survived. His voice softened, as compassionate, grieving, yet full of love. There are hearts whose fractures look like yours once did. There are minds trapped in cycles you now walk free from. There are souls tangled in confusion you once carried silently. There are people praying for the strength that now lives inside you. He paused, and I felt the gravity of his love for the broken, the weary, the lost. You cannot walk through the fire and leave others to burn. A holy heaviness settled in the room. Not weight that crushes, but weight that crowns. Your healing, he continued, is not meant to stop with you. It must flow through you. Warmth pulsed through me, soft, intense, alive. You must speak life where others speak fear. You must carry peace where others carry turmoil. You must walk with patience where others walk with frustration. You must stand with confidence where others collapse in anxiety. His voice strengthened, wrapping my spirit with purpose. You carry what they need. A quiet tremor moved through me. Not fear, but recognition, destiny, assignment. And because you carry what they need, he said, you must live with intention, with awareness, with compassion. His words flowed over me like a river of light. You must become a safe place for wounded hearts, a shelter for weary souls, a voice of truth for confused minds, a source of peace in chaotic environments. The weight of the calling did not intimidate me, it awakened me. You must treat your victory, he whispered, as a ministry. A soft warmth filled the room as if heaven itself nodded. You must learn to speak gently, because you do not know who is breaking quietly. You must extend grace, because you do not know whose strength has run out. You must choose compassion, because you do not know who is holding on by a thread. His voice deepened, protective, holy. You must represent me well. A shiver of reverence moved through me. You must represent my patience when others feel overwhelmed. You must represent my kindness when others feel unworthy. You must represent my mercy when others feel condemned. You must represent my wisdom when others feel lost. His presence pressed even closer. You must represent my heart. A breath escaped me, slow, sacred. This responsibility, he whispered, is not a burden. It is an honor, a privilege, a divine partnership. He paused, letting the truth settle like seeds falling into fertile soil. And my child, do not fear this calling. I am not asking you to be perfect. I am asking you to be available. I am not asking you to be strong every moment. I am asking you to be present. I am not asking you to have every answer. I am asking you to listen. I am not asking you to carry the world. I am asking you to carry my heart. A gentle peace flowed through me, warm, reassuring. You must learn to walk into rooms and ask not, what do I need? But what can I offer? Whose burden can I lift? Whose spirit can I strengthen? Whose heart can I comfort? His voice softened into something deeply intimate. This is how the world sees me through you. The room felt bright, softly glowing with a warmth that resonated like promise. You must know, he continued, that your presence carries spiritual weight now. When you enter a space, peace enters. When you speak, clarity enters. When you forgive, healing enters. When you stand firm, fear loses power. His words resonated through my spirit like ripples moving outward. You do not need a platform to influence. You do not need a title to lead. You do not need permission to impact lives. You only need my presence, and you have it. His voice grew tender again, wrapping my heart gently. My child, I trust you with this calling. A soft ache rose in my chest. Not pain, but the overwhelming awareness of being chosen. You were refined for this, shaped for this, strengthened for this, prepared for this. He paused, and his presence felt like a crown being placed upon my spirit. You are ready. The words sank deep, filling the spaces that doubt once occupied. Carry my heart, he whispered. Carry my peace. Carry my strength. Carry my presence. A profound stillness fell, heavy with love. For you are not only healed, he whispered, you are now a healer. The atmosphere around me shifted again, not with intensity, but with a depth so gentle and holy that it felt like the air itself was bowing. His presence didn't rush in, it unfolded, slowly, tenderly, deliberately, like light stretching across the horizon before the world wakes. Every part of me quieted instinctively, as though my spirit recognized that this moment carried something sacred, something meant to reshape the way I saw not just him, but myself, and the assignment he was preparing me to step into. The silence between us wasn't empty. It vibrated with purpose, with promise, with a peace that felt alive. And when he spoke, his voice reached into the deepest parts of me, the parts that remembered pain, the parts that carried memories, the parts that once believed they were not enough. My child, the way he said it held tenderness and authority intertwined. A father, a king, a shepherd, a healer, all speaking at once. Now that you understand the responsibility of carrying my heart to others, you must learn something even greater, the art of spiritual endurance. The words settled over me like a mantle, not heavy, but undeniably significant. You must understand, he continued softly, that the path ahead will not always be smooth. Not because you are failing, not because you are weak, but because every elevation carries resistance. His presence grew warm, protective, steady. Elevation, he whispered, always stirs opposition, Breakthrough awakens jealousy. Growth disrupts old environments. Light exposes darkness, and favor attracts spiritual attention. A quiet truth pulsed through my spirit, gentle but clear. "But you must not fear this," he said, "for I am teaching you not merely to rise, but to endure." The word echoed inside me. Endure, not as a burden, but as power. Endurance, he continued, is not surviving difficulty. It is thriving through it. It is remaining unshaken. It is refusing to retreat. It is choosing to trust when logic demands fear. It is standing your ground even when the ground beneath you shifts. His presence pressed closer, like a shield being drawn around me. "For too long," he said tenderly, "you believed that struggle meant something was wrong with you. But my child, struggle does not signal failure. It signals growth. It signals expansion. It signals destiny." Warmth radiated through my chest, unraveling old lies. "You are not being attacked because you are weak," he whispered. "You are being attacked because you are impactful. The enemy does not waste energy on those who pose no threat." His voice deepened, gentle but commanding. "Endurance is the spiritual posture of those who carry purpose." A quiet reverence spread through me. "You must learn to stand firm," he continued, "even when emotions rise, even when circumstances shift, even when people misunderstand, even when the enemy tries to whisper old fears into your new season." He paused, and the silence felt like the tightening of a holy anchor. "Endurance is not loud," he said. "It is not dramatic. It is not frantic. Endurance is quiet strength. Endurance is peaceful determination. Endurance is the power to continue when your feelings try to quit." His words melted into the deepest places within me. "You must endure by staying planted," he whispered. "Planted in my presence. Planted in my word. Planted in your identity. Planted in your calling." His tone softened when almost like a father cupping his child's face in his hands. "You must remain steady, even when the world around you is unstable. For endurance is how you protect what I've placed inside you." A warmth expanded across my entire being, like light soaking into thirsty ground. "There will be moments," and he continued, "when discouragement tries to creep in, when fatigue whispers lies, when confusion tries to cloud your path, when delays test your patience, when opposition tries to intimidate you." But before the heaviness could settle, his voice rose with authority. "But my child, listen carefully. These moments cannot defeat you. They cannot derail you. They cannot undo you. For you do not endure in your own strength. You endure in mine." A trembling peace spread through the room, wholly stabilizing. "I am your endurance," he whispered. "I am your strength. I am your anchor. I am your consistency. I am your resilience." His presence deepened, fierce, loving, unshakable. "You must learn to endure the small things so you can carry the great things. You must learn to endure discomfort so you can embrace transformation. You must learn to endure pruning so you can bear more fruit. You must learn to endure correction so you can grow in wisdom." Each word felt like a seed being planted in the soil of my spirit. "You must see endurance," he continued, "as a friend, not a burden, as preparation, not punishment, as refinement, not rejection." His tone softened, full of compassion. "I am not testing you to expose weakness. I am strengthening you to reveal glory." The truth resonated and steady and warm. "You must not interpret temporary difficulty as the absence of my presence," he said. "Often, my greatest presence is working beneath the surface of your hardest moments." The revelation washed over me, gentle but awakening. "Do not run from discomfort," he whispered. "Do not retreat from inconvenience. Do not turn back when pressure rises." His voice grew firm, protective, empowering. "For pressure is the birthplace of endurance, and endurance is the birthplace of greatness." A slow, steady breath filled my lungs. "You must understand," he continued, "that the enemy fears an enduring believer. He can handle someone who starts strong but cannot sustain. He can handle someone who shouts but cannot stand. But he trembles before someone who refuses to quit." His presence surged like a quiet, unstoppable river. "Endurance," he said, "is the armor of those who finish their race. He paused, long enough for the truth to imprint itself inside me. You will not be shaken. You will not be derailed. You will not be destroyed. His voice leaned closer, tender and resolute. You will outlast every lie, every fear, every attack, every storm, every delay, every distraction. My spirit steadied under the weight of his promise. For I am teaching you, he whispered, not only how to begin in strength, but how to finish in glory. A warmth settled deep inside me, the kind that feels like destiny rising quietly, steadily, undeniably. You are not fragile, he said gently. You are fortified. You are not temporary, he said softly. You are eternal. You are not easily broken, he whispered. You are unshakable in me. And then, like a final seal of strength pressed upon my spirit, he spoke. You will endure, not because you never feel weak, but because I am your strength when you do. The atmosphere glowed with his nearness, his assurance, his unending love. And my child, his final words wrapped around me like holy armor. You will witness victory that only endurance can unlock. The air around me grew still again, not the stillness of an ending, but the stillness of a sacred continuation. The kind that feels like the moment right before dawn breaks, when the world holds its breath because something holy is about to unfold. His presence surrounded me like soft fire, alive but gentle, warm but weighty, familiar yet always new. Every part of me leaned inward, because by now my spirit had learned the language of heaven's pauses. And then, through the quiet, his voice came, low, tender, filled with a depth that wrapped around my heart like a mantle being placed on a newly appointed king. My child. The affection in those words made my chest ache in a way that healed. Now that endurance has taken root within you, I must teach you something even deeper, the wisdom of spiritual perspective. The phrase opened something in me, a door I didn't know existed. You must understand, he continued softly, that how you see your life determines how you live it. Perspective is not merely observation, it is interpretation. It is the lens through which you perceive my will, my timing, my guidance, and even my silence. A gentle warmth moved through the room like a graceful wind. For too long, he said, you viewed your life through the lens of survival, through wounds, fears, disappointments, and expectations shaped by pain. His presence pressed closer, almost like a hand resting over my heart. But I am reshaping your sight. I am renewing your vision. I am teaching you to see through my eyes. Not your history, not your emotions, not your insecurities. A quiet shiver moved through my spirit, not fear, but awakening. You must learn, he whispered, to interpret everything in your life through the lens of purpose. The word purpose vibrated through the air like holy resonance. Every season, he continued, carries purpose, even the ones that felt empty. Every delay carries purpose, even the ones that frustrated you. Every disappointment carries purpose, even the ones that wounded you. Every moment of silence carries purpose, even the ones that confused you. His voice softened, turning into something that felt like a father wiping tears from his child's face. I have never wasted a moment of your life. I have never abandoned you to randomness. I have never been distant in your pain. Every chapter served the next. Every struggle carved space for strength. Every tear watered seeds of perseverance. Every loss redirected your steps toward greater blessing. The truth washed through me like warm rain. You must learn to see, he said, beyond the surface of events, beyond the temporary, beyond what is immediately visible. A quiet peace settled in my chest, steady, grounding. You must learn to see the eternal beneath the temporary. He paused, long enough for the words to take root. When you look only through what your eyes can see, he whispered, you interpret life by limitation. You judge by appearance. You react by emotion. You misread my timing, and you lose sight of the unseen world that is more real than the physical one. The air around me hummed with spiritual gravity. But when you look through what your spirit sees, through truth, through intimacy with me, through faith, through surrender, everything shifts. His presence expanded with holy intensity. You begin to see obstacles as opportunities for growth, delays as preparation, closed doors as protection, conflict as sharpening, pruning as promotion, silence as invitation, pressure as transformation, weakness as the doorway to my strength. A deep breath flowed naturally from my lungs. You begin to discern, he continued, that spiritual battles are often disguised as emotional ones, that spiritual attacks are often cloaked in ordinary frustrations, that spiritual lessons are often nested within human interactions, that spiritual growth is often hidden in the mundane. His words illuminated memories. Seasons I once thought were meaningless, moments I once believed were failures, times I once interpreted as abandonment. He had been there in all of them. You must learn, he whispered, not to judge your circumstances prematurely. A gentle pause. What looks like loss may be rearranging your future. What feels like rejection may be redirecting you. What seems like delay may be building structure inside you. What appears as silence may be my deepest work. What feels like the end may be the beginning of a greater chapter. His presence wrapped around me like a warm blanket. I see the full picture, the beginning, the middle, and the end. You see only a moment. Trust me with what you cannot see. A subtle holy fire awakened inside me. Perspective, he continued, is the difference between despair and hope, between confusion and clarity, between fear and peace, between stagnation and growth. His tone grew tender again, soft but filled with authority. You must learn to ask, not why is this happening to me, but what is this shaping within me? Not why did they hurt me, but what strength is being built through this? Not why the delay, but what are you preparing me for? Not why did this close, but what door are you opening instead? The shift inside me was subtle, but profound. This is spiritual maturity, seeing from heaven's vantage point rather than earth's. He paused, and the silence felt like a window opening to eternity. You must also learn, he said gently, to see yourself through my perspective. A quiet ache surfaced, tender, vulnerable. You still underestimate yourself, he whispered. You still evaluate who you are based on past mistakes, past wounds, past seasons, past limitations. His presence leaned closer, intimate, unwavering. But I see you through identity, through destiny, through purpose, through possibility. Warmth spread through me like dawn washing over the earth. You are not small, he said. You are not fragile. You are not insignificant. You are not behind. You are not broken. The next words came with holy fire. You are chosen. You are called. You are equipped. You are anointed. You are assigned. You are prepared. You are capable. A soft breath escaped me. Relief, revelation, release. You must stop seeing yourself as who you were, he whispered, and start seeing yourself as who I created you to be. His presence deepened around my spirit. You must learn to interpret your life through truth, not through trauma, through faith, not through fear, through identity, not through insecurity. The shift in the room was subtle but powerful, like heaven affirming every word. And my child, he added softly, when your perspective aligns with mine, nothing can shake you. A holy stillness enveloped everything. For when you see like I see, he whispered, you will walk like I destined you to walk. The atmosphere shifted once more, not with the gentle softness of before, but with a deeper gravity, as though heaven itself leaned closer, preparing to reveal a truth that required every part of me to be fully awake. The air felt thick with purpose, alive with a quiet intensity that made my heart slow its rhythm so it could listen more closely. I felt the familiar warmth of his presence surround me, but this time it carried a weight that felt like destiny resting on my shoulders. My child, His voice arrived like a warm wind passing through a forest, brushing lightly against everything inside me, soothing yet stirring, tender yet commanding. You have learned perspective, endurance, alignment, transformation. Now there is something even greater you must understand, something that will define how you walk through the remainder of your calling. The silence that followed felt sacred, stretching long enough for my spirit to open wide. You must learn the wisdom of spiritual surrender. The words entered me slowly, sinking into layers of my being that had not yet been touched. They were gentle, but they carried the power to break chains I didn't even know I still held. You must understand, he continued softly, that surrender is not defeat. It is not resignation. It is not giving up. True surrender is entrusting your entire life, every part, every desire, every outcome, into my hands. His presence pressed closer, warm and encompassing. Surrender is the highest form of strength, for it requires you to lay down your understanding, your expectations, your attempts to control what was never yours to manage. A subtle ache rose inside me, not painful but revealing. Surrender, he whispered, is choosing to trust me even when you cannot trace me. The truth settled deep, like a seed falling into fertile soil. For much of your life, he said with tenderness, you have carried burdens I never asked you to carry. You have tried to solve problems I intended to handle. You have tried to open doors I had locked for your protection. You have tried to write chapters I never authored. His tone softened into something almost like a quiet mourning. You have exhausted yourself trying to achieve what could only be received. A breath escaped me, soft, involuntary. But now, he continued gently, you must learn to let go, not of effort, but of control. Not of responsibility, but of self-reliance. Not of wisdom, but of worry. A warm peace flowed into the places where old patterns once lived. Surrender, he said, is not passive. It is active trust. It is deliberately choosing my will over your own. It is allowing me to lead you where your mind would not go, but your spirit was born to walk. His presence deepened, heavy with purpose. You must surrender your timeline, he whispered. Surrender your fears. Surrender your desires. Surrender your need to understand every step. The air felt warmer now, as though the room was being filled from the inside out with something holy and alive. When you surrender, he said, you step out of your limited perspective and into my limitless provision. You stop striving and start receiving. You stop forcing outcomes and start flowing in destiny. His voice carried the softness of compassion and the firmness of eternal truth. Surrender allows me to be God in your life. The words hit a sacred place inside me, illuminating memories of all the times I had tried to carry what only heaven could handle. You have believed, he whispered, that if you did not hold everything together, everything would fall apart. But my child, I am the one who sustains you. I am the one who upholds your life. I am the one who orders your steps. His presence wrapped around me like a warm embrace. You are safe to surrender, for you are not falling into emptiness. You are falling into my arms. A soft trembling moved through my spirit, a release, a loosening. Surrender, he continued, means letting me rewrite the parts of your story that you tried to control. It means letting me heal the wounds you tried to hide. It means letting me close the doors you tried to force open. It means letting me lead you down paths you did not choose, but paths that lead to the fulfillment of your purpose. His voice grew deeper, steady, grounded. You must surrender the battles I never asked you to fight. Surrender the comparisons that drain your joy. Surrender the expectations that break your peace. Surrender the timelines that suffocate your faith. Warmth expanded through the room, the kind of warmth that feels like truth setting a soul free. Surrender is not weakness, he said. It is wisdom. It is recognizing that I see what you cannot, know what you do not, and love you more than you understand. His presence settled gently over my thoughts, quieting them one by one. When you surrender your plan, he whispered, I give you mine. When you surrender your fear, I give you courage. When you surrender your pain, I give you healing. When you surrender your striving, I give you peace. A slow breath left me, steady, cleansing. And my child, his voice softened, almost like a melody, that you must surrender not only what hurts you, but also what you treasure. A pause, long, intentional. Surrender your dreams, not to lose them, but so I may refine them. Surrender your gifts, not to bury them, but so I may multiply them. Surrender your relationships, not to remove them, but so I may purify them. Surrender your identity, not to erase it, but so I may reveal who you truly are. His presence deepened again, like a wave of warmth flowing through every part of my spirit. Surrender is the gateway, he whispered. The gateway to peace, the gateway to clarity, the gateway to purpose, the gateway to rest, the gateway to destiny. I felt truth settle into my bones. You have tried to control outcomes because you fear disappointment, he said. But disappointment is not something I use to harm you. It is something I use to redirect you. You must surrender your fear of being let down, for I will not fail you. His presence grew tender, deeply tender. You must surrender your fear of loss, for nothing surrendered into my hands is ever truly lost. It is transformed. A holy quiet spread through me like calm water. When you surrender, he continued gently, you make room for me to move. You make room for miracles. You make room for provision. You make room for divine surprises. You make room for a future far greater than the one you imagine. His voice softened into something like a blessing. You must learn to live with open hands, not clinging, not controlling, not fearing, but trusting. A warmth radiated from my spirit outward. For open hands, he whispered, are the hands I can fill. He paused, and the stillness felt like a sacred seal being pressed into my heart. And my child, his voice lowered, deep and full of love. Surrender is not something you do once, it is something you live. A gentle peace wrapped around me like a comforting cloak. For every new level I take you to will require a new level of surrender. My breath steadied, grounded, anchored, ready. And when you surrender fully, he whispered, you will rise effortlessly. The atmosphere around me changed once more. Not in volume, not in force, but in depth, like the way the ocean becomes quieter the deeper you go. It felt as though heaven itself had descended into the room and wrapped every inch of space in a holiness that could not be described, only felt. My breath slowed, my thoughts stilled, and my spirit leaned forward as if recognizing that these final words would carry the weight of everything he had spoken up to this moment. My child, his voice came softly, yet it vibrated through every part of me, carrying tenderness and authority woven together like threads of gold and fire. Now that surrender has taken its place within you, there is one final truth I must give. The truth that holds all others together. The silence that followed was not empty, it was full of eternity, full of love, full of something that made my spirit tremble gently in anticipation. You must learn the beauty and necessity of abiding in me. The words entered like light moving through dark water, slowly, surely revealing everything. You have learned strength, he continued softly. You have learned perspective. You have learned alignment. You have learned endurance. You have learned transformation. You have learned surrender. His presence intensified, warm and alive. But none of these can be sustained unless you abide in me, dwell in me, stay connected to me. A quiet truth settled deep inside me like a stone placed with intention. You must understand, he whispered, that your spirit was never created to live independent of my presence. You were designed for connection, constant, deep, daily connection. Not occasional moments of seeking me, but a life rooted in me. His presence wrapped around my heart like hands cupping a fragile flame. You must not treat my presence as a place you visit, he said. It must become the place you live. A warmth flooded my chest, a warmth that felt like clarity. For it is in abiding, he continued, that your strength is renewed, that your peace is restored, that your discernment remains sharp, that your identity stays anchored, that your purpose becomes clear. A gentle pause. It is in a